Student, we would like to go our next paragraph that's here mentioned is that. So what's that? Sui and John C will do. Let us see that Sui and John C will do what happened. Right here. Now John C count always what for their death. So Sui is too much anxious, and how Sui is make relief. Let's see that Sui is looked out of the window. What was there to count? There was only grey backyard and the blank wall of this opposite house, an old ivy vine, dead at the roots, climbed halfway by the wall. The cold breath of autumn had blown almost all the leaves from the vine until its branches was almost here. What's this? Exactly. Our Chauncey count the leaves that is pulled down from the tree to the ground, and that means when it there is a tree that means opposite that I already told that there is tree as that means John C always look other side opposite side of building. There what happened, there is a gray backyard, there is a blank wall of the opposite house. What happened? An old ivy vine tree. Old vine ivy tree means here the vine tree, vine. Okay. There was a tree. Its name is vine tree. Okay, it was vine tree, and it is almost dead. That means near to pull down. Okay, at this roots. That means root is strong. We can say that the tree is very strong. What here root is very old, then tree is also very old tree that climbered halfway up the wall. That means they are little bit slide to the wall of the other building. The cold breath of autumn, this autumn season, very cold everywhere, okay, had blown. That means its tree's leaves had blown almost from the vine until its branches was almost bare. That means it's almost collapsed, and its tree is very old. Which one? That is old ivy vine tree, and its leaves are falling down one by one by one. That is count by our Jonesy. There are little bit leaves are there were in the ivy vine tree, and that is maybe 12 or 10 or 15 or this. I think it's a 12 or 15 there, and it is full down. That time she count 1, 2, 3. She believed that if it is maybe the 10 leaves are fall down at the same time, my death will happen. Who believe that? No, she believe that. First, that kind of belief we want to remove. That's why doctor said that you want to install confidence in the minds of John C, then she will recover. Okay, so that is why Sue is very confused now. Sue want to recover her friend John C, so she tried for that. What is it, dear? Asked Sue. Let me where you are looking. 6, said John C very quietly. That means 6 means the 3 leaves are fall. 6 leaves already falling faster now. There are falling faster now. The falling means here leaves. The 3 days ago there were almost 100. But before the leaves, plants are too much leaves, but all leaves are now falling. It is makes my heart ache to count them. At the same time, if the leaves are falling time, what happened? My heart also beats. But now it is easy. There goes another one. There are only 5 left now. Now 5 leaves are only there upon the tree, and it will be come soon. It will be fall soon. And if the fifth one fall, that may be my death day. So such kinds of atmospheres is now. As Swish became very sad because of his friend John's mind is different, and believes that he's near to death. So that's why, five, what dear? Tell me, said Sui. Leaves on the five ivy vine. When the last one falls, I must go to. I must go to means I will die. I have known that for 3 days. That means I will remain here only 3 days. The leaves also in 3 days. Didn't the doctor tell you? Doctor told her like that? No. Yes. The doctor didn't say any such a things. Who said that? Sui said that. That is pure foolishness, said Sui. What have the old ivy leaves to do with our getting well? Yeah. What is the relationship between ivy tree leaves and the life? That's foolishness. And you used to love that old wine so much. Please don't silly. The doctor told me this morning that your chances getting well soon were excellent. So you don't worry, you don't think about your death. Doctor already told me that means what happened? You can recover your illness. You will live for a long time. Don't be stupid. Don't be think like that in the connected to leaves. Now try to take some soup and let me get back to the work so that I can make money to buy you some good port wine. Yeah. That is here. Sui said that. What is that? I will give you soup from the kitchen. I want to prepare. So I will go to kitchen and I want to finish work also. Then after we sell that work, that painting, I will buy to you a wine, a beautiful wine. I will buy. Okay. So there is a conversation between Sui and Johnsy. Johnsy is still believe that if the fifth leaves are fall, I will also die. He waiting for the fifth leaves. That is, he is not confident, not determined, not the mental power. He is almost is welcoming her death. But Sui said that this is nonsense. It's not life is not connected with the leaves. You think about the foolishness. Okay. The doctor said to me, what? You can recover. If you're happy, if you're determined, if you're confident, you can recover your illness. So don't worry. I will carry you. I will prepare a soup for you to become energetic. You should happy. You should stay happy. Don't think about your death. Okay. I want to work at the same time, and also I will buy for you a beautiful wine. So these are the conversation going on between Sui and Illness Johnsy. Right. You needn't get any more wine, said Johnsy, keeping her eyes fixed out of the window. She's still looking out of the window and looking at the leaves. When will the leaves are falling? That's only her thinking. So she's looking outside and said that, do you have any wine? There goes another. That leaves are just okay. No, okay. You needn't get any more wine, said Johnsy, keeping her eyes fixed on the window. There goes another. What is there goes another? Another leaves also fall down. That leaves just four. Now four leaves are balanced in the tree. I want to see that last one fall before it gets dark. Then I will go to. This is a less confidence thinking of Johnsy. Johnsy, dear, don't say like that, said Jessie, bending over. Will you promise me to keep your eyes closed and not look out of the window until I have finished walking? That means I just close the curtain of the door, I mean window, because you're always looking into the window outside the tree. That's why I want to close the window and put the curtain. And I will like to finish our walking. I must deliver this drawing tomorrow. Yeah, I promised to the seller. That means I will give this painting tomorrow. I need the light. Otherwise, I would pull down the curtain. Yes. But I want to paint the pictures and I will sell tomorrow to this customer. But if I paint, I need light. Otherwise, I will close the curtain and close the window. That is not possible now because in order to work, I need a light. But at the same time, you look into outside and you count the leaves and you must welcome your death. Don't do that, please. This is a request of Sui to Johnsy. Couldn't you draw in this other room? Asked Johnsy coldly. So, okay, you just go to other room and complete your painting. I would rather stay here with you, said Sui. Besides, I don't want you to keep looking at those silly leaves. No, I don't want to go to other room because I want to stay with you because I love you very much because you are only my friend. And moreover, you are now illness. I want to care you. I want to look you. And moreover, you always looking outside the windows in that ivy tree. I want to prevent it. Okay. Tell me as soon as you have finished, said Jones, closing her eyes and lying white and still, because I want to see that last leaf fall. I am tired of waiting. I am tired of thinking. Yes. Then she said that I want to see the last leaf fall. That may be the last day for me, and I want to see that scene. And really, I am very tired. This is a dialogue given by John C. to Sui. Try to sleep, said the Suis to little later. I must go downstairs for minutes to get Mr. Brahman. Yes, this is a very important character we can welcome. What's the name of that? Bahman. Who is Bahman and what is the contribution of Bahman? We can understand now. We will get soon, right? Okay, I must go downstairs because downstairs their neighbors. Name is Bahman, who is going to sit as my model. Yes. Bahman is one of the person. He's a great painter, but he is act as a model now. In order to paint uh, John C. I mean, sorry, John C. and this Sui. Comes in front of her as a model. Okay, but I will be right back, and don't move. And also, please promise me not to look outside the window. Yes, and I want to contact with Mr. Bahama. You please don't look at the outside the window. Okay, you take rest and to take a sleep. Right. So now Sui is good downstairs for to see Mr. Bahman. Then we want to know about Mr. Bahman. Once there's Christmas examination or final examination, there comes a question, the character sketch of old Mr. Bahman. So you must be remember the very important question, character sketch of Mr. Bahman. So let us see this paragraph completely. You noted this paragraph completely says about Mr. Bahman. Character sketch of Mr. Bahman is this paragraph. You have to noted and underlined or side is the character sketch of Mr. Bahman this paragraph. Okay, very important question. Okay, Mr. Bahman was a painter. Yes, of course, painter because everybody living in Greenwich Village, most of them was painter. Mr. Bahman was a painter who lived on the first floor bench them. Beneath Minadi, yes. He was past 60, 16 years old, 60. Bahman was a failure in art. Even though he was a great painter, but he can't earn more money from his profession. So he is a failure in his caliber. He had always wanted to paint a masterpiece. Masterpiece means here, magnum opus, that means very important work. But he had never yet begun to paint it. For many years he had painting nothing except new and then something in this line of commercial or advertising work. That means he is a painter. Okay, he was living in the first floor of the beneath them. Beneath them means beneath the floor of Sui and Johnsy. 16 years old, but he is a failure in art. That means he can't show any great work in this painting. That means he had always wanted to paint a masterpiece. He wished to paint a masterpiece, very great work, but it is not possible still. He had never yet begun to paint it. Yes, or paint it means here masterpiece. He never start his masterpiece work. But at the same time, what? Now we live for some money. That is how he had painted nothing except now then something in this line of commercial or advertising work. In that field, he is now doing. That's why he gets some money for that he is now living. He still is not contributed very much to this art. You want a great work, that is masterpiece. Okay. He earned a little money by serving as a model for those young artists who could not pay the price for regular model. Yes. In order to paint, we need a person in front of. We look the person and to draw the picture. That is, we can call his model. We want to sit or stand or in one pose without movements. Then the painter is painting the picture. So that model is Berman. Who is now painter? Sui is the painter. Who is the model? Berman is the model. So Sui is now called. Rush to go down in order to call Berman. So Berman is a painter. I mean, at the same time, model. But he always talk about the great masterpiece he was going to paint. For the rest, he was fierce little old man who regarded himself as watchdog and protector for the two young artists living above him, of whom he was very fond. Fond mean like. So he is acting as a watchdog. Watchdog means in a house there is, if there is a dog, is the dog maybe we can say that protect the all members in front of this thieves or any other disturbed people out there. Similarly, he is recognized as watchdog of two girl who is a Sui and Johnsy, and they are protected, and he is a protector. If any problem comes, they will soon go to the help of Mr. Burman. So Burman act as a protector and at the same time watchdog of two artists, two young artists. Who are the two young artists here? Sui and Johnsy. So if any problems comes out, they are contact to Mr. Burman. Because they like Burman and Burman like these two young ladies also. So that is a character sketch of Burman. What is a character sketch? You understood? Can you, can you say some of the character sketch of Mr. Burman? Yes. Burman is 16 years old painter. He is living in a Greenwich village. He was past 60. Okay. Burman is failure in art because he couldn't paint his masterpiece still. He wished to paint his masterpiece, but he didn't get a time or circumstances. Now we work with some commercial and advertising agency and get some money. And still his mind is to complete his masterpiece work. At the same time, work as a model also. That means he is work as a model for this Sui and Johnsy. And he is also known as watchdog or protector of two young lady, that means Johnsy and Sui, and they like him very much, and he also liked them very much. So that's about Mr. Burman. Burman is a painter. You must know that, and he stayed very near to downstairs of the Sui and Johnsy, right? So that's about Mr. Burman. Very important. Take care. The question will comes out. You must be answer that one. Okay, Sui found Burmans in his poorly lighted studio. Burman has a studio is there down. Studio means painting studio. In one corner of the room stood a blank canvas. Then it says about the pathetic condition of that studio. Very poor condition of the studio. Because Burman has not reached there, he has no money. So the studio condition is there. What is that? In one corner of the room stood a blank canvas which had been waiting for 25 years for receiving the first line of promised masterpiece. A big canvas is there. Canvas for that's a paper for paint the picture. Okay, here canvas is that one. What is that? It's a long thick paper, long width thick paper, we can paint that canvas. Okay, that is used for that. Okay, she told him John C. Fancy, and how she feared she would indeed, light and fragile as a leaf herself, float away when the slight hold upon the world grew weaker. What is that? Okay. Sue found Berman in his poorly lighted studio. Yes, Sue is before he came from John C. rooms and to see the Berman. And what happened, Berman? Berman is in the studio. No one in one corner of the room stood a blank canvas, which had been waiting for 25 years of receiving the first line of the promised masterpiece. Here is he's looking for the masterpiece. That means he tried to work. Who? Berman. She told him to John C's fancy. She told John C's condition to Berman. Then he had fancy me mad. John C is in the way of mad. How is John C is mad? Because John C is counting the leaves and waiting her death. That is mad things, is it? So she discussed this with Berman, and how she is feared she would indeed, light and fragile as a leaf, herself float away. Yes, when her slight hold upon the world grew weaker. Yes, all the condition she told to Mr. Berman. Then Berman, what happened? Old Berman shouted, "Are three people in the world, sorry, are there people in the world who are foolish enough to die simply because of leaves was falling from old tree?" Yes, that's a foolish thing, is it? A person used to, a people is count like that, the leaves are falling down, life is also falling down. Is it? That's a foolish things. Just like people are living the earth, living the world. Who said it? Berman said to Sui. I have never heard of such a things. Why do you permit such a silly ideas to come into her mind? Oh, that a poor little Miss Johnsy. Yes, then she sympathized to Johnsy. Then he's criticized Sui also. What? Why you allowed such kinds of things in the minds of Johnsy? You want to stop this. That is the things Berman said to Johnsy, and also sympathized to Sui, and sympathized to Johnsy also. That's the reaction. This paragraph says the reaction of who? The reaction of Berman. This is a reaction of Berman to Jonesy's illness, and he reacted very severely. Okay, the next one. The old Berman shouted. Okay, shouted means angry. That means angry. That is we have the reaction we have to see. And next line. She is very ill and very weak, explained she, and the fever has left her mind full of strange ideas. Then Sui's answer this reaction of this or Burma. That means she is ill. That is why she says like that. That means we have to say if it comes pichum bariga, right? That's maybe this because of the illness. Because the illness is very great. High illness, that means high fever. What is the illness here? Fever, right? Okay. John C was when this Burman and Sui is now reaching the flat of John C, and John C was sleeping when they both went upstairs. Yes, both means here Berman and Sui. At that time, John C, what happened? John C is sleeping. Sui pulled down the curtain and motioned Berman into the other room. They looked out of the window. At the same time, the Berman looked at that ivy tree and other place. There they looked out of the window fearfully at their wine. Then they looked at each other for a moment without speaking. A cold rain was falling. At that time also rain is falling, mixing with the snow. Snow is also falling. It's the best time for fever, is it? Berman took a seat and prepared himself to pose for Sui as a model. Here is that the important work want to finish, and Berman is seated and is as per the seat. Sue is prepared to paint the picture of Berman here as a model. Berman is working as a model, I already told. Okay, when Sue woke up the next morning, she found Johnsy with a dull, wide open eyes looking at the window. The next day, what happened? When the Sue woke up, Johnsy is still, his face is dull, wide open eyes, his eyes are very wide. That means pale because of this happens fever, high fever. Eyes looking at the window, but still she is looking at the window, that ivy, vine tree, and leaves. Pulled up the curtain. I want to see, Johnsy said quietly. Sue obeyed. So at that time, maybe Sue closed the windows and curtain. Now, Johnsy became very angry and said that open the curtain, and Sue is obeyed. Okay. Then, but oh, after heavy rain and the strong wind, one leaf was still hanging on the vine. Yes, the night time, too much leaves are fall out. So there is only one, okay, still dark green, it hungry baby from branch some 20 feet above the ground. So one leaf is now, is it just like a brownie, it is near to down. It is the last one, said Johnsy. I thought it would surely fall during the night. Yes, this is the last day maybe. This night it will fall down. Which one? The leaves. This is the last leaf. That is our title also. Our story title also, the last leaf. Is it? I heard the wind and this rain. It will fall today and I shall die at the same time. Who said it? Johnsy said to Sue. The last leaf only there because of heavy rain and snow. This day itself, this night itself, that leaves will fall down. So that is the same time my death will happen. It is said by Johnsy very sadly, and at the same time Sue is also very sad because he don't understand what he will do. How can he how can give relief? Then Sue said that, dear Johnsy, placing her face close to the Johnsy on the pillow, think of me. If you want to think of yourself, what shall I do? Yes, don't say like that. Don't think like that. I am too much worry, said by Sue to Johnsy. The day wore away, and even though the twilight, they could see the lone ivy leaf clinging into the steam against the wall. And then, with the coming of the night, the north wind was again lost, and the rain began to fall heavily. In in that, in that night, what happened? In that night, what happened? In that night, there is a storm comes out. Definitely, the leaves will fall down, and at the same time, the heavy rain also, snow also. That will happen at that night, and we don't know what happened to them. And that is the today's ending. We want to know that what happened to Sui, what happened to Johnsy. Will she die? What happened, Mr. Berman? See, these things we want to see the next class. Okay, up to that we already said it here. Right. So, here is so many things we have discussed here, right? Okay. What is the title of our, see this picture of the Mr. Berman. We want to know very well about Mr. Berman. Very important characters in this story. And Sui, Johnsy, the three important characters. And our title of this story we want to know, don't forget, the last leaf. Now you understood what is the last leaf. See? So the condition of Johnsy is very pathetic, is it? So here what you needed, we needed confidence, we needed determination, we needed willpower. We want to overcome all our difficulty with these qualities. Then only we can live in our ground, our earth. So we want to possess such kinds of quality. Here, lack of such qualities happened in the minds of Johnsy. So we want to install. How we will install, that's we have to see in later. Okay. Okay, that's all today. Okay, thank you very much. Take care. Bye.